Hi, this is Rahul. In this lecture, I am going to talk about application layer. There are some protocols which comes at this layer. Which one? First one is a HTTP, www, and FTP, and SMTP, POP3, Telnet, and DNS. So we will look at one by one these protocols and see in details what this protocol does and how this protocols is working. So before going to dive into www, we first look at the what is how this what was the requirement behind the World Wide Web and how it was evolved. Then, if we go history behind the World Wide Web, what we see there was a Sunrise Nuclear Laboratory Research Laboratory. There was a project was ongoing, and there were some research scholars those were working at different locations, and they were working on this project. And at any point of time they need to communicate each others, and there was a problems of communications with uh, to among the researchers. So the idea was communication, which was what the WWW concept, which was proposed by Tim Berners in 1989. Later, 1990, the commercial wave has started, right? So, what was popularity behind this WWW? There was first a popularity of linking of documents or linking in page. So we will first see what is the wave here. Wave is just nothing as a repository of information or repository of documents. Here we can see these are the pages, or we can have documents. We HTML page we can say as the document, and we can connect these two pages by the anchor tags in HTML, so that we can if this page has a link of this page, then we can say that they are linked to each other. So uh, first popularity of this was the linking page, and second was if we want to add anything in this repository, and we can simply link this page to other page by putting anchor tags of this page, so that this from this page we can access to this one. There is one way. Another way, we can simply just inform the users, those who are internet connections, they can easily access this page. This is a very easiest way from which we can add new documents, and the documents can be shared among the network user very easily. That is the reason. These are the two reasons behind the popularity of www, right? Now we'll move forward and see what are the things we use to communicate in www, right? First one, we use always URL. When you scroll any website, first you type in URL field, and we'll see what we write in URL field. The full form of URL is Uniform Resource Locators. There are two. It is made of three parts. First one is a host, second one is a port, and third one is a path of file where it is present inside. Suppose in computer there is a path of file. So this is simply the path of file, right? This port number is just the process ID numbers which is running on the system. This host is just nothing. It is the IP address, right? We'll see. We will dive in details here. This is a one URL you can see over here. I will explain this one. This is a complete URL you can see. We will write first the protocol from which this communication going to be happen. Now in this we will write the protocol name, then followed by columns, and then double slash, then we will write IP address, host name, then colon, then port numbers. If you don't see port numbers while writing website names, what it means, there is a by default a browser will put port number 80. What it means, there is a process which is running on server at port number 80 will be communicated by this URL. Later on you will write the path, right? In this way you write the URL. Once you write URLs, what happens? The request is made to the servers, and then server responds to the request, and the web page get loaded on your web browser. This is how it happens. Now, and one more thing, so sometimes the question would be asked related to what are type of web documents you have in some in company interview. Sometimes the interviewer asks question related to documents. What are types of documents we have? Static documents and active documents and dynamic documents. We'll see one by one what are the differences between among all these documents. One we'll see. For now, you see these are the languages we use to create this type of documents: HTML, XML for static documents, and Java and Applet. These languages will use to create active documents. ASP and JSP will use to create dynamic documents. We'll see one by one what are the differences. There is a difference of communications. We'll see one by one. First one is a static document. You can see in this is at server side. This is a web repository of web pages. You can see P1, P2, P3. These are the web pages you can see. These web pages, well, what happens? The right side you see the user make a request to the servers, right? Now, after making request, a copy of web page being responded to the user. Then the same web page will be loaded on the monitor of the user, right? This is what we are doing, simply copying and sending to. But what happens in dynamic documents? Suppose you right side, what you see, there is a user and she is making request to the server. And what is happening? There is one script which is running on the server. Upon receiving requests from users, the servers simply run one script and create a web page. Now this web page will be responded to the user. This is how, and this is how the dynamic web page upon the user request is created and sent to the user. Right, I hope this is clear. For in statics we will have some static page and we will provide to user the copy of web page, but here upon receiving the request we create the web page and then response to the user, right? I hope this is clear. In active web page, what happens? Then we active web page, I hope you have opened the website of Canva. Or in Canva, what we do, simply create some graphics or some graphical things like making some jumbotrons. If you look at in Java, there in website you create graphics kind of things, all creating wave or diagrams, all those things. This kind of web page, if you load on your system, those type of page we call as a active page. The language we use for active page is a Java applets, right? Now we'll see deep into the HTTP. The full form of HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocols. So then the words comes here, transfer. Hypertext means there is a link between among the pages, one page to another page to next one, right? And the protocols means set of rules. We have two types of connections, HTTP connections we may have. First one is a non-persistent, second one is a persistent. What is the difference between non-persistent? There is a one side you can see there is a HTTP simply make a communications between client and servers. You can see this side you can see this is a user and she is requesting a web page. You can see over here this is a web page being requested by this user. Now what will happens, suppose there is an anchor tag which is simply linking this image, right? If this guy has requested to this page, what happens? This guy makes a TCP connections to load this page, right? Later, if there was a link of this image, then this user has to make next TCP connection to load this image. If this type of connections is being established by HTTP by using TCP, two TCPs, that type of connection is what we call non-persistent. If there is we have made only one TCP connections to load both documents at once, then that type of connections what we call persistent connections. I hope this is clear. Now we will see deep and down what is happening when we may communicate by using HTTP. Suppose there is a sender, you can see here, and receiver. Sender is what we as a client, who are going to communicate with server is a sender. Now receiver is what is a server which will respond on of your request. Now sender will send the request message, right? Sender sends, as we can replace it by client sends what? Request message, then get back the response from the servers. This is what happened. Now we'll look at what is there in request message. This is what is defined by HTTP, right? There the HTTP is what protocols. There must be some rule. So what is inside the request message, right? We'll see. So there in request message, this is a request message. It has three parts, 1 2 3, right? In first part, what do you see? There is a method means what type of method, whether you want to fetch the data and want to upload the data, or you want to know about the web page or delete something. So you will put here some methods, right? This is the first field which you would write the methods. Next field you will, in this request message there would be URL, right? URL contains all the things where is a path and path of file of documents and the host as well as the port numbers. All those things is in URL. And version is what? HTTP versions. Nowadays we are using HTTP 10. So that's why we will put here this area what we call request line. Now later in the next area what we call header lines. In header lines we'll